It's Orioles baseball on Masson tonight from Camden Yards. The Birds are closing out their 8-game homestand with the finale of a 2-game series against the Kansas City Royals. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Birds looking to snap a 3-game losing streak tonight, and they will send Kevin Millwood to the mound. Now, Millwood was brought here to anchor the front end of the rotation, and he certainly has done that, but oh, has it been a challenge. Look at the names of the opposing pitchers that Millwood has had to go against this year, either aces of the staffs or pitchers who are having big-time years that Millwood has had to match up against. As Kevin Millwood will go for the Orioles tonight. And Mike Flanagan, when you have an ace like Kevin Millwood going on the mound, you want him to go out there and be the guy that's anchoring it, but you also have to understand when you're the number one guy, you're going to face the other team's number one guy more times than not.
Well, you're absolutely right, and he certainly has faced some great pitchers along the way. King Felix in Seattle a couple of times. You look at James Shield to start the season off 4-1. Philip Hughes 5-0 with an outstanding ERA. Josh Beckett, who's perennially good, and again King Felix again. And tonight he lucks out and gets the reigning Cy Young and Zach Greinke, so he's got his hands full.
Yeah, so 23-12 the opposing pitchers against him, and as you say, not only does he get the ace of the Kansas City staff, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, it certainly doesn't get any easier.
It doesn't, and his ERA is lower than that group collectively. So he gets the 2009 AL Cy Young Award winner and Zach Greinke, who's had an interesting journey. We'll talk about it a lot tonight, but he has been a terrific pitcher over the last couple of years.
So tonight, Kevin Millwood looking for his first win as an Oriole. Birds looking to snap the 3-game losing streak. We're coming back to Camden Yards. Lineups and first pitch are next. Oriole Park at Camden Yards on an overcast night as the Birds close out this homestand, heading out on a brief 5-game road trip, 2 games in Texas, 3 in Washington this weekend. Time now for the train game time temperature, and it is a chilly 54 degrees, breezy as well, and the overcast keeping it cool. Visit trainsearch.com to locate an independent train dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. Well, Kevin Millwood on the mound tonight. Here's the Southwest Airlines starting lineup that he will face against Kansas City. Scott Podsednik, Jason Kendall, and David DeJesus. Billy Butler bats cleanup. Jose Guillen will DH and bat fifth. Big-time numbers against Kevin Millwood. Alberto Callasco at third. Mitch Meyer in center field. Yuniesky Betancourt at short. And Chris Getz, another left-handed bat in there at second base, batting ninth.
I think the scouting report for Kevin Millwood would be, Jose, can you see it, as you just saw, that in 438 lifetime against Kevin Millwood, 14 for 32, and don't bronze a gold medal. We used this before. For Kevin Millwood, don't change. The game plan has been outstanding. The run support has been poor. And to go solo, with the 10 home runs he has allowed, which is among the league leaders, 8 of them have been solo, and therefore they don't hurt very much.
So Kevin Millwood now 8 starts into the season looking for his first win. And, of course, it all may have been different. All the way back on opening night in Tampa, it was his game to win when the Orioles lost it in the bottom of the ninth, and he has not been able to pick up a win. 0-4 and 4 no decisions. So here is Podsednik, and Millwood deals, and it's inside. And 1-0 the count on Podsednik. Podsednik new to Kansas City this year, batting at .308. He has cooled off since a torrid start. Lines this one to center field. Adam Jones is there, and he has it for the out. And a quick out here in the first inning.
Let's take a look at Kevin Millwood's assortment. Here's the traditional 4-seam fastball, a little bit of spread between the fingers, the 2-seamer or the sinker, and there's that slow curveball grip that he uses against right-handers and left-handers very effectively. Slider and change-up, and I guess the longer you play and become a veteran, you have about 8 or 9 pitches. I used to have to take my shoe off sometimes to throw some of them.
You know, you hear so many pitches not wanting to complicate things as Jason Kendall steps in, and we just saw 2 different fastball grips, 2 different breaking ball grips, and the changeup, and I would guess there's even variations off of all those pitches.
Well, usually necessity is the mother of invention. Again, as you go along and, you know, you become more of a veteran pitcher, there's games, well, I'm going to try a cutter today. I've never thrown a cutter before, but things are going so poorly, I'm going to throw one today. There's a little cut fastball right there from Kevin Millwood.
Millwood, 35 years old, 155 big league wins, now in his 14th season. Kendall swings through it, and it's 0-2. Interesting lineup switch tonight by Ned Yost. Last night he had Jason Kendall, his catcher, batting 9th. He's just 4 for his last 19, but yet he moves him up to the number 2 spot tonight. Pops it up, shallow right. Markakis right there, waits for it now. And 2 down here in the Kansas City first inning.
With the Oriole defense, Patterson will be in left, Jones in center, Markakis in right, Tejada, Lugo, Wigington, Atkins around the infield. Matt Wieters will be again behind the plate and catching Kevin Millwood.
There's David DeJesus, now the right fielder, came up as a center fielder for Kansas City, and one of the players on this team that has been there for some time and is recognizable as a Royal now in his 8th season. Kansas City has had a pretty good turnover over the past few years, but DeJesus was drafted in the 4th round in 2000, and he has been in Kansas City's system his entire career.
He's already catching up to a number of the older Kansas City Royals and some of the franchise numbers, catching Al Collins for triples, and Carlos Beltran, he just 1 away from catching him with 44 lifetime, needs 45 for 7th.
1-1 the count with 2 outs and none on. There's a bouncer towards short. Lugo waits on the hop. And he'll get it to first, and Kevin Millwood has a 3-up, 3-down first. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Royals nothing, and here come the Birds. The top of the first, here's the Orioles Southwest Airlines starting lineup as we go to the bottom of the first inning. As the Birds try to get even in this series and go 4-4 on the homestand. Patterson with Wigginton batting second tonight. .381 batting average at home. That is second best in the American League. Markakis, Tejada, and Wieters. Luke Scott will DH. Adam Jones, Garrett Atkins, and Julio Lugo.
The scouting report for Zach Greinke, and it's been sad, Zach. At 1-2 lifetime against the Orioles, a very lofty ERA, almost at 7. And then homeless. Last year he had a streak of 110 consecutive innings without allowing a home run in his career against the Orioles. In 29 innings, 8 home runs. And he is certainly side present with that great year last year, 16-8, 2.11 ERA, and 242 strikeouts along the way.
And he gets ahead of Corey Patterson, 0-1. And there's the defensive alignment with Patterson, who led off last night with a bunt single. You see Cayaspo at third and Butler at first in on the grass.
When you think about it,
swings through it,
right.
0-2.
Corey Patterson never got a ball in the infield yesterday. The bunt single, stolen base, worked his way around, had a walk, a stolen base, got the third on an error, and hit by a pitch.
And 3 pitches. There goes Corey Patterson. So a fastball overpowers Corey Patterson and 1 away. Well, these 2 pitchers, Greinke's 1-4, Millwood 0-4, not necessarily because of how they pitched. Here's the worst run support in the American League. Kevin Millwood, the worst support, 2.18, and Greinke is 5th. Oh, boy, do they support him, 3.25. Hey, go out there and win there, right-hander.
Jeez, how can you get used to having so much support?
It is just amazing how every year somebody on the staff falls into that as Ty Wigginton comes in. And he fouls it straight back, aggressively going after Greinke. You never know which pitcher it's going to be. Usually it's somebody who's a pretty good pitcher. I don't know if the hitters relax behind him, whatever, but every year there's one guy that happens to.
I'll tell you the truth, a lot of times it happens when the number 1 starters are matching up.
Wigginton to center field, back on it is Mitch Meyer. He has a play. And this cool air and the breeze blowing in from center field, that held it up, 2 quick outs.
Let's take a look at the defense that ranks 12th in the American League. Patterson in left, Mayer in center, DeJesus in right, Cayaspo at third base, Betancourt gets at second base, Billy Butler over at first, and Jason Kendall behind the plate.
Well, Nick Markakis will bat now with 2 outs and the base is empty.
I want to talk to some of the Kansas City people saying that Greinke was nothing but spectacular last year. He hasn't quite been that good, but he's been pretty good.
There's the 1-0. It's fouled back. Well, Nick Markakis has made a living getting on base in any manner in which he can. He does have 43 base hits, which leads the Orioles, but most times reaching base this year, 67. Only 3 other hitters in the American League have been on base more. Morneau, Youkilis, and Cabrera. And as the pitch misses outside, 2-1 on Markakis. And the only thing that he has not done this year, and against a guy like Zach Greinke, it's going to be tough, is drive the ball to drive in runs. 2 home runs, 12 on the year. This one deep left field, back on it, Podsebnik. This ball's trouble, bounces by him and into the stands for a ground rule double. Podsebnik did not read that well off the bat, and it seemed to get up in some kind of a jet stream and carry all the way to the warning track. So a 2-out double for Markakis.
Now, it appeared to be misread, and the ball just kept, with that spin, just kept curving away and towards the line. Besides, nothing we could really do out of it. The ball really did jump off the bat.
So Markakis now has hit in 7 of his last 8 games, picks up a double. And here is Miguel Tejada now, chance to get the Orioles a 2-out run. Miguel, 4 home runs on the year to go with his 19 RBIs. Fastball misses, 1-0. Orioles have lost 3 in a row. They're now 3-4 on the homestand. So not only would a win tonight snap the losing streak, they would even up the homestand at 4-4. They had higher hopes after taking 2 or 3 from Seattle to begin the weekend, but it all turned on Saturday night with that blown save in the 9th inning.
You see some of the current Orioles that have outstanding numbers. Again, never surprises me when Todd has good numbers against a pitcher that's around the plate, and certainly Greinke, control pitcher, 5 for 9 with a home run. Also, no reason why Julio Lugo in the lineup is because of his outstanding track record against Zach Greinke.
Tejada to right field. De Jesus went back, now comes in, and he'll put it away for the final out. A 2-out double, a man left. We'll head to the second at Oriole Park. Royals and Orioles, no score. Double and get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA. Most doubles in a season for Kansas City. The great Hal McRae in 1977-54. And last year, Billy Butler with 51. And he might have made a run at the most in the American League, except for somebody named Brian Roberts, who had 56 for the Orioles. And here's Kevin Millwood. And he will face Billy Butler. And he takes a strike, and that was very nice of Billy to lead off the inning when we were honoring him with that doubles report.
So just last night he had some really critical at-bats for this Royal club.
Foul back.
Used the whole field. Pretty good breaking ball hitter. We saw that last night. In the top 10 in hitting. Hitting .342 at the moment. A big 2-out RBI in the 7th.
0-2 the count on Butler. And he chases it. That's outside. Swinging strike. That ball really moved away from the swing, and Millwood gets his first strikeout.
And almost we don't have time even to go to the refrigerator with these two on the mound. Really coming right after each other. Both Greinke and Millwood. 3 pitches to Corey Patterson. Now 3 pitches here to Billy Butler. So both pitchers establishing they're going to be throwing strikes almost regardless of the counts. 0-2. Don't take anything for granted. It's another classic matchup with Guillen. Guillen with a great track record against Millwood, but scuffling in recent history. This is the battle that you always have as maybe a pitching coach going over a game plan.
Tejada with the great grab. So Guillen is robbed and 2 men out.
I guess it shows you how cool Jose Guillen is. Hits it right on the button. Really about a half step and a dive by Tejada. But again, Guillen had been hitting .438 against Millwood. If things are going his way, I'm sure that ball goes through. When you're not, they don't.
So 2 outs here in the second inning as Miguel continues to look more and more comfortable at third base. And here is Alberto Callaspo. Callaspo's bat has been coming on. He has hits in 12 of his last 14 games. A switch hitter up there from the left side against Millwood. And there's a foul to the left, and it's 0-1 on Callaspo. Well, talking about how come Kevin Millwood hasn't won a game, how about this run support? Orioles have gotten 3 runs in a game from once. That was his first start. 3 times they've given him 2 runs, and 4 times just 1 run. Has not left the game having allowed more than 4 runs. As that's fouled off, and it's 0-2. He has left 5 times trailing in a game, 1 time tied. 1 time he left with a lead. That was in his first start on opening night. And then he pitched a complete game in a 4-1 loss in Seattle.
No, he's really pitched, I think, terrific the whole season.
ERA is at 3.69. There's the 0-2. It's a little low. And 1-2 the count on Alberto Callaspo.
Yeah, Millwood 6-4 lifetime versus the Royals.
Two outs, the bases empty, no score in the second. Ball hit towards the hot at third. Miguel waits on it. And with that scoring run, gets it across. And Millwood has retired 6 in a row. Middle of the second at Camden Yards on a chilly night. No score. Not a night I would think that you'd run through the fountains.
No.
55 degrees, a little breezy. However, the rain did stop.
This is true.
And here is Matt Wieters. Wieters' first ball swing fouls it back. Now, here's one of those age-old baseball theories. Mike, let's get your opinion. When you have a guy like Greinke, who you know is so good, do you try to wait him out, or do you do like several Orioles have done here already tonight and try to get him early and go after that first pitch?
Well, maybe the best one you're going to get. Maybe the first pitch. I know there's been a lot of clubs that use that philosophies over the years. The Twins used to be like that, especially against good pitchers, because they're all trying to get ahead.
Wieters 4 out of 20 on the homestand. Takes a strike at the knees, and it's 1-2.
Well, Greinke really has one of those classic deliveries. No wasted motion. He said nice turn and load. And then that arm action on the end, and really a classic finish.
Wieters sweeps at the first base. As Butler grabs, he'll run to the bag unassisted, and one away in the Orioles' second inning. On Tuesday, May 25th, don't miss Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. All upper reserve seats for the game that night against Oakland, just $8 when purchased in advance. So gather up your family and friends and celebrate an exciting, affordable night at Oriole Park. For tickets, call the Orioles 888-848-BIRD or get online at Orioles.com. First ground ball hit against Greinke, retires the first batter in the second. And here is Luke Scott. Checks a swing at a high fastball, 1-0. Luke remains hot at the plate. He has a 2-game hitting streak going, but he has had a big homestand and actually got hot the final couple of games of the last road trip. There's a strike taken, 1-1.
Let's see, in 09, 16 of the Royals wins, 16 of their 65, 24%, or just about a quarter.
High and tight. Luke out of the way, 2-1. That'll get your attention.
That'll wake you up. Happened in fastball about 94.
It's amazing the power he generates. He is 6'2", but he's only about 190 pounds.
Former first-round pick, 6th pick in the country.
And he comes with a changeup, and Luke Scott is way out in front and stares at him.
And that's what he can do to you. He can throw you right out of the same exact delivery. The fastball, changeup, fastball at 94. Haven't really seen much of the breaking ball yet, so he has a tremendous arsenal. Bob McClure had some interesting stories about Greinke. He really doesn't do interviews. The only interview he does is after he pitches on game day. So I think he did one in all of spring training.
3-2 the count on Scott. 1 out, none on, no score. And it's high ball 4. Luke Scott works the walk.
Typically, the Cy Young Award winners the last 6 years. It's sort of a trend. Zach Greinke with the Royals, Cliff Lee and Sabathia back-to-back with the Indians, and now have left. Johan Santana, who's left Minnesota. Bartolo Colon with the Angels had a turnaround year, and Santana again. Interesting, they all come out of the Central and the Western Division. There was a trend for a long time where they usually had come out of the American League East.
Adam Jones now with a man on. Greinke from the stretch gets ahead 0-1. Adams hitting 4 straight games, 5 hits in that streak. As the batting average up to 245. Weak ground ball towards second, gets the charge and get it to first to get Adam Jones, and 2 men down as Scott goes to second base. Well, Kansas City has had a pitching-rich history, as have the Orioles. Brett Saberhagen a couple.
You're right, David Cohn in 94, Zach Greinke last year, then Cuellar 69, then Palmer got lucky in 73, 75, and 76. Then we were good again in 79 and 80 with Steve Stone. Palmer got lucky in those years. And
3 years he got lucky.
Yeah, he was 22-9 one year with 19 complete games. Then he got luckier, went 23-11 with 323 innings pitched. And just 10 shutouts and 25 complete games. Yeah, just followed it up the year. And
I think you ought to get that guy some help.
Yeah, then 76, he went, let's see, 22-13 and 315 innings and 23 complete games, which is more than the American League has to the moment.
0-1 to Garrett Atkins, swings through it, and it's 0-2. There certainly was a different philosophy in that era, which was not that long ago. Now everything is specialized. You have your bullpen built backwards. You have your closer, your setup man, your 7th inning man in many cases. And starters just don't have that mindset that they want to complete the game as much anymore.
Short starters and long relievers.
1-2 on Garrett Atkins. Scott at second base with 2 men down in the second, no score. So both these teams are on the move after the game. The Orioles fly to Dallas. They'll take on Texas tomorrow night. Royals go to Cleveland. Outside, 2-2 on Garrett Atkins. Zach Greinke out of Orlando, Florida, now his 7th season. He has 51 wins, 57 losses in his career, despite a 3.67 ERA. As Atkins stays alive with a foul tip straight down at the plate. So that gives you an idea of the quality of the team that's been around him since he's established himself. 3.67 ERA for his career, and he is 6 below 500. 1-4 on this year, despite an ERA below 3. 2.73 is his ERA. 2-2 to Atkins. He got it. So Atkins swings through it. He goes down on strikes. Number 2 for Greinke. The lead to the third. No score.
lost. It's a team thing. You stay behind your players. I have a lot of confidence in all of them. I'm not stopping believing in any of them. I'm going to go and give every opportunity I possibly can. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. We all make our fair share of mistakes. We've all had our fair share of opportunity. The hard thing is that it seems to be a repetitive situation that keeps coming up.
So Dave Tremblay asked before the game about, is there any satisfaction at all in the fact that the team has been somewhat competitive in many close games, yet has not won? And his answer was very blunt. Absolutely not. It's not about feeling good about yourself. It's about winning. Orioles have already played in 13 one-run games. They're 6-7 in those games. And in games decided by 2 runs, they're 1-4. So 7-11 in those games. And they've also had that long stretch going. They're just 1-17 on the year when they score only 2 runs in the game. And as Millwood battles here in the 3rd inning, Mitch Meyer leads off. 3-1 the count. And Dave Tremblay making it clear that's not what we're all about here. Trying to figure out a way to get it going.
Yeah, and again, most games are lost and they're not won overall. So it's the little mistakes when you're playing a lot of close games, a lot of one-run games. It really magnifies any lapses you have in the field or physical or mental errors.
Strike 3 called as Mitch Meyer thought he had ball 4, and Millwood's pitch came back and caught the corner. 1 away on his 2nd strikeout.
Well, appears early on, both pitchers, starting pitchers, have their feet on the ground early in this one, working both sides of the plate up and down like he usually does.
See how quietly Wieters caught that ball and gave Alfonso Marquez a good look.
Probably one of those dream matchups if you're Marquez behind the plate being the umpire. The glove moves to the corner. There's a pretty good chance it's going to be delivered in that area. If you watch Millwood and Greinke both, and this really what all young pitchers should be doing in both dugouts, is watching how these true professionals go about their work.
Yuniesky Betancourt up now. The shortstop shows Bub takes a fastball outside. The ball and a strike on Betancourt. Royals got him from Seattle last July. Now their everyday shortstop. Free swinger, has some pop.
Had an infield hit last night, which seemed like everybody on both teams
yeah, 5.
Really did, and a double.
It was a strange game in that regard last night. The Orioles had 10 hits. All 10 hits were singles. Only the 3rd time this year they have not had at least 1 extra base hit. And they had 3 infield hits. 2 of them were bunt singles. Ned Yost saw his hitters pick up 2 infield hits on swinging bunts. Strike 3 called, and a little delayed call by Alfonso Marquez, who gave it a good look. The back-to-back called strike 3s and 2 men out.
This is what happens when both pitchers are tearing apart the outside corner. Anything close. See this nice frame by Matt Wieters. The umpire gets in the habit, but he ought to be moonwalking by about the 5th inning.
That was great camera work, because on the previous called strike 3, Wieters' glove never moved. That one clearly moved, and he got the same result. Another called strike 3. So 2 down. Here's Chris Getz, and he takes strike 1.
But you just see the precision that how Millwood really works both sides of the plate. Now a left-hander comes up, he goes right to the other side of the plate very comfortably.
Getz at one time was a big-time prospect with the White Sox. Now he's with Kansas City. Had some injury problems on the year. Batting just 189 in 18 games. Ground ball that is foul wide of 3rd. Well, Kevin Millwood does not have a win, but his ERA at 3.69. He has the lowest. There's the honor. He has the lowest ERA without a win. Wakefield behind him. So 3.69, and yet he is 0-4. David Hernandez on that list as well.
Not a list you want to be on.
Just inside, 2-2. But what that does support, and I've heard you talk about this quite a bit as we see David on the bench, he's expected to make his next start after being skipped on Sunday, is Millwood is doing what he should do. That's control what he controls.
That's right. That's the hardest thing, is not to change something when you're not winning.
Swing and a miss by Getz, and Millwood strikes out the side. 2 called, and a swinging strike 3. So Mitch Meyer went down first. He was called out on strikes. That got him going. Possible. And by Wendy's. Buy a boneless wings combo at Wendy's and get a scratch and scorecard. Win great prizes from the Orioles and Wendy's. Wendy's, you know when it's real. And we know when it's real with the pitching matchup, Greinke against Millwood, and Julio Lugo leads off for the Orioles. Patterson and Wigginton will follow. Mike mentioned Julio Lugo 5 for 10 against Greinke in his career, so he gets a start at shortstop tonight, even though he is a right-handed batter, and his Torres would have batted left-handed against him. Julio is 0 for 8 on the homestand. He has 11 hits on the year. All 11 hits are singles. Breaking ball off the end of the bat to center field. Long run in for Meyer. The second baseman out there, and Getz runs it down. So it hung up long enough for Getz. Meyer in no way would have been able to get there, so Lugo's retired and 1 away.
Cy Young Award winners with 16 wins or less. Greinke last year at 16-8. Lincecum with the Giants 15-7. Brandon Webb back in 06, 16-8, and Fernando Valenzuela 13-7. But that was a strike shortened year.
Patterson misses on the bunt 0-1. And Fernando Mania was created.
Absolutely.
Patterson struck out his first at-bat. There's been only one base runner in this game. Nick Markakis doubled with 2 down in the first. He's the only Oriole base runner. Millwood has retired all 9 he has faced for Kansas City. The Royals have gone 3 up, 3 down each inning against Millwood. Greinke misses low, 2-1. Patterson now 4 out of 14 on the homestand. Really added a spark to this lineup. Pops it up. Gets the second baseman calls. 2 away in the Oriole third inning. On Thursday, May 27th, don't miss Kids Night. Every Thursday home game this season, kids 10 and under can receive a free upper reserve seat when accompanied by a paying adult. Up to 2 free kid tickets per adult. So gather up the family and enjoy an exciting, affordable night at Oriole Park. For all the details, 888-848-BIRD or online at Oriole.com. And that youngster is certainly enjoying baseball here tonight. Here's Ty Wigginton. Breaking ball for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Now that's just not fair. You're gearing up for that 94, and he snaps off that.
Yeah, he started off the last couple of hitters with breaking pitches. But he just can't sit back and say, well, I'm going to hit the ball early in the count, because when you look up, you're 0-2.
Greg Maddux was dominating in the National League in his prime. He kind of had that same reputation where hitters were reluctant to wait him out, because before you knew it, he had such good command, he'd have you 0-2 or 1-2. Ground ball towards shortstop. Right there is Betancourt. And gets to first. And the Orioles go 3 up and 3 down. So the pitchers are in charge. We'll head to the 4th at Camden Yards. No score. Right-hander. This is his 9th start of the year for Millwood, as Podsednik will lead off for Kansas City. Kendall and DeJesus will follow. Podsednik lined out to Jones in center field leading off the game, and there's a strike. This is the longest stretch for Kevin Millwood to begin a season without a win in his career. In 2005, his first win was in his 7th start in the one season he pitched for the Indians. And that was one of those interesting years statistically for Kevin Millwood, because he was a losing pitcher record-wise. He was 9-11. However, he won the American League ERA title that year at 2.86. So his first win in his 7th start that year, that was the longest until now. This is his 9th start and still looking for his first win. Look out. Line drive in the stands off the bat of Podsednik.
Well, not like you ever get used to it, but he certainly has experienced frustration, because that season does really jump out at you. 2.86 ERA in 30 starts. And one of the barometers you usually use, if you've had a good year, if you win half your starts, you had 30 that year, won 9 games. And that's easily a 15, 16 win season with an ERA like that.
1-2 on Podsednik. And he got him. Breaking ball in the dirt. Wieters will tag him out. And there is 4 strikeouts in a row and 5 in the game for Kevin Millwood. 1 away in the 4th.
Well, he is nearing about 2,000 strikeouts for his career, which is an outstanding milestone. Big breaking curveball, which he uses at times early in the count to get ahead, and he'll bounce it in the dirt to get once he is ahead of you. But he struck out, 13 is his career high. He's done it on a couple of occasions, not since back in 2000 against Milwaukee, and he also did it in 1998 against Pittsburgh.
Jason Kendall now shows bunt takes outside. 1-0. Miguel Tejada charging in from third. He probably didn't mind that exercise on a cool night. Get that blood going.
Stay warm.
Pop the foul back out of play. 1-1 on Jason Kendall. It's kind of amazing when you look at that season that Millwood had of 2.86, and Greinke last year winning the Cy Young, his ERA was 2.16. To be able to do that in the American League with the DH in this era of offense. Although there are studies that the offense is declining, maybe some of the enhancements no longer in play. Fly ball to center field. Adam Jones is there. And he puts it away for the out, and 2 men down in the 4th. Time now for our AT&T Mobility Trivia question of the night. Which AL team won the most games in the 70s? The Orioles, the Yankees, the Royals, or the Athletics, who had a tremendous start and then finish to the decade of the 70s? Wow.
I'd say A.
You'd say the Orioles because you were a part of that?
No, because I'm Canadian.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to say the Royals just because that's probably why they're picking this tonight. And the answer is the Orioles at 9:44. Hey?
I remember the 70s very well.
My Canadian partner gets that one. Here's David DeJesus, takes a strike.
So I did a little research on the 1970s a couple of years back. You think back in 1970, the Orioles won 108 games, 101 and 71. So in that decade, 3 of the years over 100 wins. You go back to the 70s, the Orioles had 3 World Series teams, 4 Cy Young Award winners. Weaver was the manager of the year 3 times. A couple of Rookie of the Years, and Al Bunbury and Eddie Murray.
2 outs, none on, no score in the 4th. And the pitch taken high, 2-1 on David DeJesus. Millwood has struck out 5. He's had 2 ground ball outs and 4 outs in the air. One of those a line drive caught by Tejada. DeJesus grounded out his first at bat. 2-1 is bounced towards the middle, charged by Lugo, reaches out and gloves it and gets it to first. Nicely done by Lugo as that ball took a bounce. Well, the retired uniform numbers for the Orioles, 6 of them, and they're all golden era of the Orioles when Frank Robinson came to the Orioles and joined Brooks. All of a sudden, they went to a World Series and won.
Brooksy born the year the Golden Gate Bridge opened. A piece of trivia. 46 years later, they put Brooksy in the Hall of Fame. In '83, the last time the Orioles won the World Series.
Markakis leads off against Greinke, pokes it to left field. Potsebnik is there. Yeah, one away here in the 4th inning. So both these pitchers are sailing along. Brooks Robinson, known everywhere as the man who controlled the hot corner, one of his 16 Gold Gloves.
One of the things Brooksy got back, he gave them all away during his playing career. So generous with everybody, and one of the things he got back, I think the Rawlings Corporation gave him back 16 more Golden Gloves. I'm sure he's probably giving them away again. But 23 years with the Orioles, president of the Baseball Players Alumni Association, and a big hand in the Players Association itself, and an association in particular with Marvin Miller over the years, and truly one of the finest men I've ever known.
Tejada takes low ball 2-0 on Miguel. He was 0 for 1 on the night.
Also had a great sense of humor, Brooksy.
He is so down to earth. It's amazing the guy who achieved the stature he did as a player and how loved and revered he is. You know, you bump into him in a store and he's just Brooksy.
That's the truth. And you could really do anything to him. And I don't think he'd mind if I told this story on his birthday. But for a while there, Brooksy wore a little hairpiece. And so we would go to Cleveland, and the veteran players like Palmer and Brooksy would get these special submarine sandwiches sent in after the game, and none of the rest of us would get anything. So what we decided to do,
Tejada fouls it off 2-2.
What we decided to do was to take all the meat out of the sub that Brooksy was going to get after the game. We put his hairpiece inside the sub, wrapped it up, and put it back in his locker, and couldn't wait to go in after the game and watch Brooksy open. And of course, he opened it, and here's the sandwich with the hair sticking out of both sides of the sandwich, and he roared along with the rest of us. And it was just so Brooksy.
That is cruel.
It is cruel.
And you enjoyed it. 2-2 is fouled back.
He was terrific. I mean, to get the break in and have, first time I was on the mound in the Major League, to turn around and see, Brooks Robinson at third base, Mark Belanger at short, and work your way around the field to go, this is a dream.
Last August, one night doing the O's Extra in the studio, as Tejada hits at the center field. And Myers there, 2 men down. Well, don't forget to stop by High Top's Backstage Grill on York Road in Timonium Thursday night for an Orioles alumni viewing party with former Orioles catcher Chris Hoyles. Chris will be at High Tops from 7 until 9, and the Orioles will be facing the Rangers on Masson 2 HD starting at 8 p.m. For all the details, visit OriolesReach.com. So 2 down, here's Matt Wieters. But anyway, Rick Dempsey and I needed dinner. So it was my turn to go out and get the dinner, and I went to a barbecue place, and I walk in, and who's on line in front of me but Brooksy? And he turned around and goes, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm getting dinner." "You're Brooks. What are you doing here? You must have people that come in here and get your barbecue." He goes, "I was at a charity golf tournament coming home, and I just had a craving. I had to stop."
That sounds like Brooksy.
Just
at a charity golf tournament.
Blending in with all the folks online looking for some barbecue. Wieters takes a strike, 2-1. Greinke's retired 7 in a row since Luke Scott worked a 1-out walk in the second. There's 2 outs and nobody on here in the 4th. And again, a strike at the knees, 2-2. Right-handers actually have hit a little better against Greinke on the year. And Wieters swings through it. Now there a strikeout number 3. So another 3 up, 3 down inning for Greinke.
Coming into this one, Kevin Millwood has been outstanding, striking out the side along the way in the third inning. It really has been a game dominated by predictable starting pitching. Two pitchers on top of their game. You see through 4 no earned runs, just 1 base hit allowed by either one, and they have been dominant and in control.
Well, Millwood goes to work on Billy Butler, the cleanup hitter for Kansas City. And pitches high, 1-0. Guillen on deck, then Alberto Callaspo. Butler struck out his first at bat, badly fooled by a pitch that moved out of the strike zone. 5 strikeouts for Millwood, as Mike mentioned. And that one's low. As Butler lays off. Billy Butler, one of the first-round picks on this Royals roster. He was taken in the first round in 2004. 2 years after Zach Greinke. There's a strike, and again a little delayed call by Alfonso Marquez, who's really giving these pitches a good look.
He's going to have to ice down his right arm.
Two and 1 the count on Billy Butler. There's a strike, 2-2. Mike mentioned that Greinke, who's pitching tonight, was the number 6 overall pick in the 2002 draft. The Royals also now have the player who was the number 1 overall pick in that 2002 draft on their team. The 2-2 to Butler is a called strike 3. So Millwood gets another strikeout. That is number 6. Butler doesn't like the call. And 1 away here in the 5th inning.
Again, that right arm going up. Let's take a look where this pitch ends it up. But again, when pitchers are throwing strikes and catchers are sitting on corners and they're coming within a few inches, that strike zone starts to expand some. And most umpires will even tell you if he hits the glove, it's going to be a strike.
Yeah, when you have a pitcher of the experience of Millwood that sees that and can command the pitches as he can, he's going to go right out there and exploit it. So Millwood picks up another strikeout. That's number 6. Butler has struck out twice on the night. And 1 away here in the 5th inning. Here's a fastball for a strike. Well, in the first at bat, here's the hardest hit ball of the game, but Miguel Tejada got it.
That was an early bullet, and Jose Guillen was really handled Millwood well over his career. Tejada to the rescue. Outstanding defensive play.
Ground ball towards the middle, and there's a base hit. And there's the first base runner allowed by Kevin Millwood as Jose Guillen, who was robbed his first at-bat, serves a ground ball up the middle. Lugo was in the hole. And Jose Guillen has the Royals' first base runner of the night.
Take a look. It's again Guillen with that great track record and history against Millwood, just out of the reach of Julio Lugo.
So for the first time tonight, Kevin Millwood works from the stretch. And Alberto Callaspo will come up. Guillen is not a stolen base threat with all the leg injuries he's had in his career. And that one low, knocked down by Wieters. 1-0. But just to finish up the 2002 draft, Brian Bullington, who is now one of the 8 relievers in the Kansas City bullpen, he was the number 1 overall pick in the 2002 draft by the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was a starting pitcher out of Ball State. And in his career, he has appeared in the major leagues in only 13 games and made 5 starts. Greinke, on the other hand, taken 5 spots later, has already won a Cy Young Award. So it gives you an idea of just how inexact a science, even with the number 1 overall pick, how difficult it is to gauge how an amateur player will develop and then translate into big league play and effectiveness.
Yeah, it may be said that it's probably a little bit more difficult to predict pitching, I would say, in the first round. Especially maybe high school pitching. There's such a projection involved.
And, of course, with a college pitcher, I guess the scouts really have to try to recognize, is this a pitcher who will get better, or is this as best he's going to be?
Right, how high is the ceiling? I mean, you take Kevin Millwood, who's been a very successful major league pitcher, was an 11th round pick in '94. There's that Mike Piazza draft picks, and for every one of those, there have been a number of first-round picks that really lived up to the bill. In some of the drafts in the early '70s, when you think of, I think there was one draft that had George Brett and Robin Yount and the whole top of it. Dave Winfield, there's just some overall terrific talent. That's the hardest thing to gauge sometimes, is how strong the draft is.
2-2 on Alberto Callaspo. Runner goes, line drive to center field, out of foul base hit. Medios put Guillen in motion, and he'll easily get to third. So back-to-back singles for Kansas City with one out here in the fifth inning. After 13 in a row retired.
A little breaking ball and just flipped into right center field. This Ned Yost feeling where you might as well put somebody, both pitchers are around the plate, so many times you don't want to put a hit and run on with a pitcher that's wild on the mound, because you really are counting on the pitcher throwing a strike, or at least something close to the strike zone. And Millwood, we've seen him have these kind of numbers before, 57 into the fifth.
So first and third, first real threat for either team. Only one down, and here is Mitch Meyer. Slices it foul the other way. Mitch Meyer was a catcher in college. And he not only is converted to an outfielder, but he is one of the better outfielders that has come along, and that's why he has wrestled center field away from David DeJesus, who now plays in right field. Fastball's too tight, 1-1. Six strikeouts for Millwood. He's allowed 2 singles this inning, but no score in the fifth inning. Orioles have their defense looking for a ground ball to turn 2. Toss to first, chases Callaspo, who does have 2 steals on the year. Royals are 5th in the league with 31 stolen bases. 14 of those are owned by Scott Podsednik. One is lined to left field. There's a base hit, and Kansas City's going to hit the lead. Guillen will score 3 consecutive singles, and Kansas City's on top.
Things are rolling along rather smoothly. Looked like Millwood wanted to throw a sinker, try to get a ground ball, but leaves it up a little bit. And able to serve it into left center field. So 3 hard hit balls in a row. That has not happened in this game at all.
So first and second now with 1 down to run in. And here's the number 8 batter, Yuniesky Betancourt. Up foul out of play, 0-1. Well, we told you about the run support issues for Kevin Millwood on the year. So he's allowed 1 run so far, working here in the fifth inning, and now he trails. High fly ball to right. Easy play for Nick Markakis. Moves in a few steps. Runners will hold. And 2 down in the Kansas City fifth inning. Now, Millwood says that it doesn't bother him, and Dave Tremblay is constantly asked about that. You know, they can't score for this guy. You traded for him to anchor your staff. Do you think it's getting to him? I mean, even though Millwood says it doesn't, you got to believe that human nature is, come on, guys, give me a couple of runs.
But I think if you really did, I don't think he takes it to the mound with him. He may think about it between starts, but I have not seen him change his game plan, and it's something that you look for many times when a younger pitcher goes through a stretch where he doesn't win. You'll see him either come up with a new pitch or try a new arm angle or something, and to me that shows that Millwood knows how well he has pitched.
Little looper to center field off the bat of Getz. Tough play. Here comes Jones. Won't get it. Runner coming to the plate. Here comes the throw, and tag safe. At the plate as Callaspo just beat the throw. Dave Tremblay out for a conversation with Alfonso Marquez. And the Royals benefited there from 2 out in the inning because the runners were off on contact. So Kansas City with 4 hits in this inning now have a 2-0 lead.
You see this, that soft serve single to center field. And it almost looked like at first that it was a better shot at third base than at home. Like Matt Wieters thought he had a chance to get him out. Let's look at the tag.
It looks like what the Orioles are claiming here is that Wieters blocked the plate and the foot never hit the plate before the tag.
He's got the plate blocked, it looks like.
And that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like he was in fact out. Tim Cheetah, the crew chief, was coming in to break up the discussion. Bang, bang play. It looked like Wieters had the plate blocked, but the Royals get that call.
Looks like Matt's still having a conversation with the home plate umpire. You can see how late Alberto's left hand goes in to touch home plate. Just a question to me if he really did touch him. Such a close play right there. I mean, it's hard to tell if he gets him on the back of that elbow.
Here's Podsednik, the leadoff man. Seventh batter to come up here in the fifth inning. Meyer ended up at third. Getz is on at first with an RBI hit. Scott Podsednik is 0 for 2. And a bunt. It's a beauty. Tough play for Wigginton. And no play, and a run scores. What a smart play by Scott Podsednik. The drag bunt, and it was perfect. So an RBI bunt single and a 3-0 lead for Kansas City.
That great drag bunt. You can see Wigginton actually playing up the middle. He has really no chance. It's just a perfect bunt. It's almost just a. There's really no one at fault. It's just a perfect bunt.
Rick Kranitz now out for a visit. Kansas City's at 15-24. They are 3-1 since Ned Yost took over as their manager, and they've won 4 of their last 5. They actually won the final game managed by Trey Hillman before Ned Yost took over.
I think that was Greinke's start, wasn't it? That was his first win.
And because they are in the AL Central, even though they are 9 below 500, they're only 9.5 out of first place. Minnesota has the lead in the Central. They began the day 10 above, but lost today at Toronto 11-2. Jason Kendall now 2 on and 2 out, 3 runs in. And the catcher takes ball 1. So Millwood had retired 13 in a row to begin the game, but now 5 hits in this inning. There's a strike. 1-1 the count on Kendall. He was flied out twice. Millwood has not walked the batter.
Just sailing along.
In this inning, it was a ground ball single by Guillen. Callaspo's was hit hard. Myers was a soft line drive, but certainly a legitimate line drive. Then Getz was the bloop, and then the drag bunt single. Now back off the bat of Kendall, 1-2.
That's what he's saying. They're coming into the series even. If the Royals are third in the league in hitting 272 as a club. But are way down in the pack in runs scored. So this is how their attack works. Many times it takes 3 base hits to get a run.
Millwood's been out there a long time. Kendall, the 8th batter to bat here in the top of the 5th inning. Meantime, Greinke has allowed only 1 hit and 2 base runners over his first 4 innings. And now Wieters out to the mound to talk with Millwood.
They've had a pretty good plan against Jason Kendall so far in the series. In last night's game, 3 times he flew out to right field and has already flown out to right. So it seems like it's sort of pitching up and out over the plate and let it hit it to right field in the air. He doesn't have a lot of power.
Here's the 1-2. Weekly at the second base. Wigginton waits on it. And Ty will get it to first to end the inning, but 8 come to the plate as Kansas City scores 3 runs on 5 hits. Mid-fifth, 3-0 Royals.
Many times that happens, try to sneak back out to the mound, get a couple extra warm-ups.
Luke Scott will lead off. Jones and Atkins follow. And the breaking ball for a strike. Luke worked the walk his first at-bat. Yes, hits in 7 of his last 8 games, and 4 of the 13 hits in that stretch have been home runs. Swings through that, and quickly 0-2. Greinke averages 7.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. With the commanding stuff that he has, you would expect that it would be more towards 1 per inning. But I guess the hitters not wanting to get behind in the count go often so early in the count that he doesn't have as many opportunities.
I think he does so well. He's not really predictable. I mean, he's thrown a lot of first pitch breaking balls.
Luke is down in the count, 1-2. And just inside, ball 2. The other thing that Greinke does, which certainly helps his cause, is he makes you earn your way on. He's only walked 11 on the year now with the walk to Luke Scott in the 2nd inning. That works out to 1.7 walks for every 9 innings he works. Luke Scott to deep right field. That ball is high and going back, and it is gone. Luke Scott stays hot, and the Orioles get on the board. Number 8 for Luke.
Well, both sides breaking through here in the 5th. Fastball right down the middle at 94. It was hit so high, the right fielder lost it.
So Luke Scott gets the Orioles on the board, just their 2nd hit. And here's Adam Jones, who takes high, 1-0. So Luke has hit 8 of his last 9 games, and he has 5 home runs and 10 ribbies in those 9 games. Adam Jones late on the swing, 1-1.
You can see really the drop off in 1 year from Adam Jones, who was at this time last year was hitting 370, 245 this year, 8 home runs last year to just 3, and then one that jumps out at you, the RBI is just 9. 26 last year at this time. And also Markakis' numbers down, certainly in the power avenue, just 2 home runs and 12 RBIs this year for Nick. Last year had 6 home runs and 34 RBIs. So if you really couple the two together, which you figure we're going to hit somewhere in second or third in the order this year, to drop off collectively as 168 points, 9 homers, and 39 RBIs. Pretty significant.
Adam Jones has worked the count to 3-1 with nobody out and a run in. The 6th home run allowed by Greinke on the year. Now back 3-2. He's now allowed 3 home runs to left-handed batters and 3 to right-handed batters.
Well, and that's the thing. Last year he had a stretch of 110 innings without allowing a home run, and now against the Orioles, a little over 30 innings pitched in his career. That's the 9th home run he has allowed.
3-2 is poked to right field. Jesus moves in on it, and he has it for the out and 1 down in the 5th inning. The lowest ERA over the past 2 seasons from opening day of last year. Nobody better than Zach Greinke, even better than Tim Lincecum, who already has won 2 Cy Young Awards in the National League.
Yeah, nowadays may be one of the best pitchers are considered one of the best pitchers in the game, and Greinke kind of gets lost out in Kansas City. You really hear his name mentioned really among that elite group.
Garrett Atkins takes ball 1. Atkins struck out his first at bat. 3 for 18 on the homestand. He's really trying to find any kind of a consistent stroke.
It's not quite the longest home run stretch of his career, but I was reading somewhere that he had a streak that was about 10 or 15 days longer.
Atkins deep left field down the line. Will it stay fair? That is a foul ball. Atkins with a swing, looking for his first home run on the year.
Atkins hadn't homered his last 134 at bats, 12 at bats shy of his longest streak. You have to go back to 05 from July 1st to August 13th for a longer streak.
There's a called strike. Count evens up on him 2-2. Well, the Orioles hoped that he would regain that stroke at the plate. He was a big-time run producer for 3 straight years for Colorado. But he's had only 1 RBI in the last 20 games. Ground ball foul down the line. He's now gone 65 at-bats with only 1 RBI. And for a time, actually lost his starting spot when Ryan Hughes came up and got hot early on.
Yeah, I'm sure even he has to admit it's been a disappointing year.
2-2 the count, 1 out, none on. And he went too far. Tried to check his swing and couldn't in time, so that's a strikeout. Swinging strike 3, number 4 for Greinke. And 2 away here in the Oriole 5th.
He's had a strikeout in every inning but the 3rd. Pitch count up to 73, so in no jeopardy at this point.
And Julio Lugo now. Julio popped up to the second baseman, gets his first at bat. And he bunts third base side, but Callaspo was right there and throws to first. And the Orioles are done in the 5th. But the Orioles get one of the runs back. Luke Scott, his 8th home run on the year. And the Royals have a 3-1 lead. Is brought to you by Ford. Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one. Looking in from the warehouse, Frank Robinson portrait there, and here's Kevin Millwood getting set to work in the 6th. Now back within 2 runs. David DeJesus will lead off. DeJesus was the only Royal not to bat in the 8-batter 5th inning. Millwood allowed 5 hits and 3 runs in that inning. All of the hits were singles, including a drag bunt single to drive in a run.
Yeah, singles galore in this series for the Orioles with 10 singles last night. Royals returning the favor tonight against Millwood.
1-0 on DeJesus, who was grounded out twice. And he takes outside, ball 2. DeJesus has each time grounded out to Lugo at shortstop. Left center field, on the run is Corey Patterson, and he'll get there, has it for the out. 1 away in the 6th inning. Well, the Orioles will be hosting the Red Sox, Yankees, and the Mets during a big 9-game homestand that begins on June the 4th. So don't miss a week of rivals, interleague action, and tons of great giveaways and promotions. Tickets for the Tuesday, June 8th game start as low as just $8. For all the details, 888-848-BIRD, or just get online at Orioles.com. It is an interesting week when the Yankees are followed in here by the Mets. 6 straight games against the New York teams.
New Yorkers, yeah.
The Yankees are on the weekday, and then the Mets come in for that weekend, 11th, 12th, and 13th of June. Two and one on Billy Butler. High pop-up. Wigginton. Still waiting for it to come down, and finally has it for the out, and 2 men down in the 6th inning. So Millwood trying to have a bounce back inning here, retires the first 2 Royal batters in the 6th inning. Millwood retired the first 13. There was 1 out and nobody on in the 5th when that rally began. 3 straight singles and a fly ball out, then back-to-back hits. Ball 1 taken by Jose Guillen, who got the rally started. He was the first Royal to reach with a ground ball single to center field. Ned Yost trying to instill his style on the Royals roster. And I'm on the count. Ned Yost, of course, did have some success in Milwaukee and a couple of winning seasons his final 2 years despite being let go. And he learned his craft from Bobby Cox, who was a longtime coach in Atlanta with Cox. Bouncer to short. Lugo gets a nice hop, 2 steps, and gets him at first. And Millwood has a nice bounce back inning, 3 up, 3 down. Mid-6th at Camden Yards, 3-1 Kansas City. to you by Chili's. It's all in the pepperation. That's right. All in the pepperation on a cloudy, chilly night here at Oriole Park. What do you say we get over to Chili's and warm up a little bit?
It's a little nippy.
Zach Greinke doesn't mind. Here's Corey Patterson leading off for the Orioles in the 6th. And he takes ball 1.
No, it's really a perfect night to pitch. Knows you don't even break a sweat. Able to stay loose.
Patterson pops a foul back out of play. And the Orioles in the game box where Greinke has been in command.
Well, singles last night, all extra base hits, and just a couple of them. One from Markakis early in the game, and solo home run from Luke Scott. Shows you how hot Luke has been. Walking a homer. That's one of the toughest in the business.
1-1 is taken for a strike. Another off-speed pitch.
And 10 miles an hour difference. You can see on some of the facial reaction of the hitters. How do I hit that? So you go 94, 84, 94.
Corey has struck out and popped up to second base. Zach Greinke just 26 years old. Pulled hard past T-Bone Shelby. So Greinke, they have 3 runs for him, and that's about the average they get him. 5th worst support in the American League, 3.25, and they have 3. Patterson pops it foul again. That'll be back out of play.
And Greinke won his last start, beat the Indians. 6 innings of work, 8 hits, 3 runs, 8 strikeouts along the way through 112 pitches. He usually ends up somewhere between about 105 and about 118 pitches. See a 77 total here in the 6th.
Orioles down by 2. Patterson leading off in the 6th. And again fouls it back. Patterson playing in his 7th game for the Orioles since coming up from AAA. He flies back another one. And Greinke asking Kendall to come out and, all right, let's see, Mr. Catcher. Everything you're putting down, he's fouling off. Let's come up with another pitch.
He said, "You have any ideas?" I thrown on the kitchen sink. 94, 84, 94 cutter. What do you think? You can tell really Kendall and Greinke on the same page. You've seen it a lot tonight. We'll track him between innings in the dugout, talking it over with Jason Kendall. You want to know what's working. Sometimes when you're on the mound, you may think you don't have a very good fastball, and the catcher on the other end is coaxing you to throw it. You're not sure if you're reading your own stuff correctly.
I guess it was high. Patterson.
Everybody froze.
Patterson looked back at Alfonso Marquez expecting to be rung up and didn't hear anything. And I'm sure Greinke felt the same way. Wow. So a 3-2 to Patterson, and he gets him anyway on the next pitch. So Corey swings through it. He has struck out twice. Number 5 for Greinke. And one away here in the Orioles' 6th inning.
He's keeping his pattern going, about 1 an inning. You see that target from Kendall runs up and out of the strike zone. Probably ends up being a worse pitch than the pitch before.
Ty Wigginton now batting 2nd tonight. He has flied out to center, grounded out to short. There's an 8-game hitting streak on the line. A streak in which he has batted .406. A magic number in baseball. The last hitter to bat .400, Ted Williams, 1941, .406. Of course, the difference is he did it for a full season. Ty's done it for 8 games. It's a start. He's really been consistent, Wigginton. He's got hits in 11 of his last 12, 8 in a row. 2nd in the American League in home runs. He trails Paul Konerko by just 1.
No, he really has carried certainly the power load of the club.
It's low 2-2. Yeah, in fact, he has a third of the home runs. Now just under that because Luke Scott is homered. But
well, it would be good if he had a third of the home runs and the team had 150.
That'd be a heck of a year, especially May 18th.
A third when they have 9 is not as great.
Wigginton goes down on strikes as he swings through it, and Greinke really is settled in. Strikeout number 6, 2 out in the 6th.
First multiple strikeout innings, had one in just about every inning. 94 miles an hour. He started the game with 94, and here into the 6th, still 94. No signs of letting up, and a very compact, uncoiling delivery.
Markakis now doubled in the first inning and has flied out, each time hitting the ball to left field. Takes ball 1. For Greinke, this is his 3rd career start at Camden Yards. He does not yet have a decision. 2 no decisions in his prior appearances here. There's a strike. A home run by Luke Scott, the 100th that he has allowed in his career. The 6th this year. Ground ball towards third. Cayaspo plays a funny hop and guns it across, and a 3-up, 3-down inning. We played 6 at Camden Yards. Zach Greinke and the Royals have a 3-1 lead. Birds head out on the road. Game 1 of the 2-game series in Arlington against the Rangers. Jeremy Guthrie will be on the mound against Rich Harden. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 7:30 with those extra presented by your local Ford dealer, followed by game coverage at 8 o'clock on MASN 2 HD. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN. And the Texas Rangers in first place in the AL West by 2 games over Oakland. And they love to hit. How about that? Leading the American League in saves with 20.
Yeah, Texas in first in the West, 3 games over 500. Very bunched up American League West.
The young hard thrower Feliz has 10 of those 20 saves. Alberto Cayaspo leads off for Kansas City in the 7th. Mitch Meyer and Yuniesky Betancourt will follow.
That shows you the type of games they've been playing. If you have 21 wins, you have 20 saves.
Fouled out of play. Texas is the only team in the AL West that is above 500, 21-18. Oakland is a game below, 2 games out. Millwood misses outside. 3-1 on Cayaspo. The Rangers are home tonight with the Angels. No score in the second. Oakland is home a little bit later against Seattle.
So I guess Toronto would have about a 4-game lead on Texas if they were in that division. Here it's good enough for third.
Well, the Blue Jays won again today. They're now 24-17, so they're 7 above. And began the day 5 back of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has already won 6-2, so they remain 5 back.
And Toronto's really found their power strokes, and also scoring 11 runs today, hitting the Twins.
4 more home runs by Toronto in that game. Now back, 3-2 on Callaspo. The Blue Jays now have 65 home runs, most in the American League by any other club. The Red Sox are the only other team that has as many as 50, and they have 65. It's an amazing power surge. Noah deals 3-2, ground ball towards the hole. Wigginton off the glove and in the right field. He got there, but it bounced past him, so Callaspo has his second hit and a leadoff single here in the 7th inning.
And just out of the reach of Wigginton. It goes under the glove.
So another single for Kansas City. All 6 of their hits have been singles. Now Mitch Meyer. Tejada's creeping into third just in case. Slap foul out of play. Now Kansas City began the day with the 2nd most sacrificed bunts in the American League. They had 15. Texas, talking about small ball, 20 saves. They have 16, but of course most of that was prior to Ned Yost, who just took over. This is only his 5th game, so we're not sure if the style has changed or if that will continue, if he'll play for a run here, a run there. Of course, with Greinke on the mound and you're late in the game, that's not necessarily a bad idea to look for insurance.
Nope, absolutely. Nothing is a given.
John Gibbons is bench coach, former Blue Jays manager. And a lot of experience over there.
A couple of former catchers.
It's amazing how many former catchers become and are very good managers. Jim Leyland.
Joe Torre used to catch.
Joe Torre. Here's the 0-2. It's outside. Joe Girardi with the Yankees. Bob Guerin in Oakland is a former catcher. Mike Scioscia with the Angels is a former catcher. 1-2 on Meyer. Breaking balls outside. Two and 2 on Mitch Meyer, who's 1 out of 2 with an RBI single. Callaspo leading off first. Two is popped foul wide of third. Tejada over, but runs out of room. Back in the stands. Kevin Millwood is in his 14th big league season. He spent 6 years with the Braves and then was traded to the Phillies as they were looking to move a pitcher who was about to reach his prime. He spent 2 years there, 1 year in Cleveland, and the last 4 years in Texas before the trade to the Orioles. Off the end of the bat, Lugo back on and has a play. And has it for the out, 1 down in the 7th inning. We invite you to join the Orioles, University of Maryland Medical Center, and the American Red Cross at the Baltimore Orioles Blood Drive. It comes your way Saturday from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the club level at Camden Yards. Now, donors will get the chance to meet Orioles Hall of Famer Jim Palmer, plus receive a replica Jim Palmer jersey, 2 tickets to an upcoming game, and the chance to win a VIP experience with Jim. To make an appointment to donate, 1-800-GIVE-LIFE. Unieski Bentoncourt now, 1 out, 1 on. Jason Birkin is getting loose in the Oriole bullpen as Millwood works here in the 7th inning. Birkin is pitching very well. He is the infrequent pitcher in the bullpen. Every year there's one of those. There's one guy like Will Ullman who seems he's in every night, and Birkin, his appearances are here and there.
Well, his job has really been the long man response, but I'm not sure if he's warming up for this game or just he's passed by the long man situation. It's just been a while for him.
1-1 on Betancourt. Now back. Birkin last pitched in a game on May 11th. That was the first game of the homestand, and today the last game of the homestand.
And it had been a while before that. I think he'd gone almost 2 weeks before that without an appearance.
And Roberto Callaspo leading off first, being held there by Atkins. 0-2 the count on Betancourt. Line to center field. Jones in on the ball. Diving catch, try, but it fell out of the glove. Good effort by Adam Jones, who got there, but the impact caused the ball to come loose.
They got a good jump. You see one little step back and then full speed ahead. Looks like it just goes off the little finger of the glove.
Well, actually never did happen.
Nope, never get him cut in.
He unfortunately kept it in front of him, so Callaspo stops at second base. 2 on with 1 down now, and here's Chris Getz, the number 9 batter. Fastball's high, 1-0. The top 4 hitters in the lineup are 1 for 12 combined. The bottom 5 hitters have 6 hits. Slice foul the other way. The one hit of the top 4 hitters, the Pitsednik drag bunt RBI single. But the bottom 5 hitters are a combined 6 for 14 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs scored. Caught him up, field to third. He went too far. Bob Davidson said so.
One of his better fastballs of the evening, a little cut fastball on his 94th pitch. So it really ties him up on the inside part.
1-2 the count on Chris Getz, the number 9 batter. And he got it. Foul tip held by Matt Wieters. And strikeout number 7 is the second out of the 7th inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. And Kevin Millwood gets the second out. Now back to the top of the lineup. Here is Scott Podsednik for his 4th at bat. There's 2 men on, first and second, and 2 down. The Royals have an interesting makeup of their roster when you look at a veteran like Podsednik, who was brought in. Kendall was brought in. He's a veteran. Jose Guillen has been here for a few seasons, but he is certainly a veteran. And then they have the younger players that they have drafted and developed, mixing in and weaving with those veteran players. Trying to get that balance of the experience to guide the younger players.
You want the youthful enthusiasm with the common veteran leadership.
Meyer and Butler are first-round picks in this lineup, and David DeJesus is a 4th-round pick. Well, they traded for Betancourt. They traded for Getz. Broken bat ball hit towards Wigginton. He waits on the hop, and he throws out Getz, and that'll do it in the 7th inning. 2 on and 2 left. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly.
going on at the moment, but you know, Greinke has been outstanding. It's really going to come down to pitch count if he wants to stay out there.
So the Orioles come to bat here in the 7th inning with Miguel Tejada trying to get this win to snap a 3-game losing streak. Wieters and Luke Scott will follow here in the 7th inning. The Orioles have only 2 hits off Zach Greinke. Markakis has a double. Luke Scott has a solo home run. And Tejada takes ball 1.
That's kind of the irony. 10 singles last night, 2 extra base hits tonight. No singles.
Miguel has flied out twice. High fly ball to left field. He was out in front. He certainly guessed right on that pitch.
It's just very difficult to center. 94th pitch from Greinke. So at this pace, he may, if things go smoothly, try to get through 8.
Ground ball, that is foul. Bouncer down the line. Greinke has struck out 6. He has walked only 1 and allowed the 2 base hits. He has been on his game tonight. Miguel fouls it back the other way. He's a little late on that swing.
And he tried to add a little bit to that. First time we've seen the velocity go down. Just a click by Greinke.
3 runs on 7 hits for Kansas City. The Orioles have the 1 run on 2 hits. It's still in this game as they bat here in the 7th inning. And it's low. 2-2 on Miguel. So the question for Zach Greinke is what you alluded to last inning is how many pitches will he throw as he approaches now 100 here in the 7th inning. Tejada gets a piece, just did get a piece to stay alive.
Yeah, first time I've seen him sort of reach back the last 3 pitches that he to stay on his follow through. Showing just a little bit of a sign of fatigue. The last time out he threw 112. Start before that in Texas threw 108. Going back to a game at Seattle, no decision, 119.
Tejada left field down the line, puts Sednick a long run over, and he runs out of room. It's a few rows back, foul ball. So Tejada is really battling Greinke here, leading off in the Orioles 7th inning. Miguel has gone 66 at-bats since his last home run. Center field, Mitch Meyer over, it hangs for him, and he has it for the out. And 1 down in the Orioles 7th as Greinke wins that battle. Well, don't forget you can vote for your favorite O's for the 2010 All-Star Game at Orioles.com, and you could win the Vote Orioles VIP Experience All-Star Sweepstakes. 1 lucky winner receives 4 tickets to an upcoming game, plus VIP parking, on-field access passes to watch batting practice from the field, and a private meet and greet with the Orioles All-Stars, and a personalized All-Star Game batting practice jersey. Visit Orioles.com/All-Star for all the details. And Wieters grounded out his first at-bat, struck out his last at-bat. Takes low ball 2. Orioles trying to get somebody on to get that tying run to the plate. And if Wieters can get on, that tying run would be Luke Scott. Tremblay looking for some offense.
And Wieters had a very quiet homestand, had a couple of base hits last night. Started the homestand 2-16.
So 2-1 the count with 1 down. Side corner called strike, 2-2.
See the little head drop by Wieters after the pitch looked a little bit outside on that changeup. Big difference hitting 3-1 against Greinke, 2-2.
Ground ball swept to second. Gets bobbles. Picks up. Has plenty of time and throws him out. 2 down in the Orioles 7th inning. And now time for our 4th drive of the game. Luke Scott in the 5th inning.
A very tough at bat. Fought his way through for a walk the first time up. Luke Scott. That's one of those patented 400-foot plus home runs.
The 4th drive of the game. Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one. And Luke has been on base twice. He's now hitting 3 straight. There's 2 home runs in the past 3 games. And he has another possibly. Back it goes. It is gone! Onto the flag court. A 2-home run game for Luke Scott. It's a 1-run game. He hit that ball so hard, I thought the backspin might have taken it down off the scoreboard, but it gets out onto the flag court.
Well, number 9 for Luke. The first one a moonshot. This one a low screamer. Head right down on it. Defend contact, and then just a low missile up onto the flag court.
Well, his first multi-home run game of the year. And number 9. Here's a line drive towards right center field off the bat of Adam Jones. That falls for a base hit. Mitch Meyer over to hold it to a single. So after 2 outs in the inning, a home run, now a single.
First time we see some moving around in the Kansas City bullpen. I think they were trying to at least get through this inning.
Jason Kendall out to the mound.
Little conversation. You could see it about 10 pitches ago. It seemed like Greinke started to fatigue a little bit at the end of his delivery. Had to put a little bit more effort into it to maintain the velocity.
Well, Luke Scott stays hot. 2-home run game. He has 9 home runs and 19 RBIs. Tying run on at first with 2 down. Here's Atkins. And Jones draws a throw. There's Blake Wood getting loose. One of the 8 relievers in that Kansas City bullpen, the right-hander. Off-speed breaking ball in there for a strike to Atkins. He was 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Another toss to first. Baseball is really a fascinating game when you look at the scoring in this game. In the 5th inning, Kansas City sends 8 men to the plate against Millwood. They get 5 singles in a variety of ways, including a drag bunt single. And the Orioles are within 1 run through to first, and a good move by Greinke on 2 swings and clouts by Luke Scott.
And 2 pitches.
So Millwood, without a doubt, getting out of that jam without any further damage has allowed the Orioles now to chip back in within a run. And Koji Uehara begins to get loose.
That's the other amazing thing. He faces, would you say, 8 hitters in the 5th inning. He had faced 12 through the first 4.
Another delayed call and a strike. Alfonso Marquez says it hit the corner. And Garrett Atkins, who has struck out twice, is in a big hole, down 0-2. Jones has a smaller lead off first now after that good move by Greinke. Doesn't go, which is in the dirt. Nice block by Jason Kendall.
Well, with that long at bat by Tejada, and then certainly Luke Scott's at bat, and the single by Jones has done, has probably cost Greinke an inning. I would think this is going to be it. Instead of being able to try to get through 8 with Greinke, he's going to have to go to the bullpen that's ranked 14th in the league, or dead last.
1-2 on Atkins with Jones at first and 2 down. Left field, but Sudnick on the run near the corner, has a play, and he has it for the out. So Atkins is out, and the inning ends. But the Orioles are back within a run. Luke Scott, his 2nd home run of the game. Player of the game, and here your candidate, Zach Greinke, who has the lead, Kevin Millwood, who is now back within a run, or Luke Scott, who has 2 home runs, accounting for both Oriole runs. Text in your vote now. Have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 51862.
Should be an interesting vote. 3 worthy candidates.
So 8th inning, Millwood's still out there. Here's Kendall. Matt Alber's now getting loose. Last inning it was Birkin. Now we're in the 8th, and it's Albers. Here's a strike, 1-1. Kevin Millwood's a strong guy. And he conditions himself to get deep in games. Pop-up shallow right. Wigginton out. Tough play. Markakis in. Wigginton and Markakis come together, and it falls in for a base hit. So a base hit for Kendall leading off in the 8th inning. There's another bloop. Unfortunate neither player was hurt as they converged at the same time.
Yeah, perfectly lobbed into that triangle. You see all 3 players involved in that triangle. Wigginton, I'm not sure he heard some footsteps. They're waiting for Nick, and then Nick coming on the scene a little bit late.
It looked like Wigginton was expecting to be called off and waited till the last moment, and then finally must have heard Markakis say, "I'm here." Well, fortunately, no one heard. A leadoff single for Kendall. Here's David DeJesus. Here's 0 for 3. And a buck attempt that he missed it. One of the things that Kevin Millwood still does is keep those legs very, very strong. After his start last Thursday, when he reported the work on Friday, he jogged to the ballpark so he can get some running in outside. And then when he came here, he did his conditioning work in the weight room.
Pretty good considering he lives in Pennsylvania.
You know,
that's a workout.
Right down I-83. Runner goes. Bunt was missed. A throw. And out at second base is Kendall. I got to believe there's somebody missed the sign, because DeJesus did offer at the pitch and he missed it. And Kendall ran and was easily thrown out by Matt Wieters.
Yeah, many times you'll take the bunt off and go to the hit and run. And I'm not even sure that's the case, because with the hit and run, many times you see that look back to home plate to see what's going on. So I'm not really sure. It's a misread sign, maybe to a straight steal. But you wouldn't think Kendall would be running, though he does have pretty good speed for a catcher.
0-2 is fouled back. You saw a quick shot of Eddie Rodriguez, the third base coach. So he certainly knows what just happened, or what was not supposed to happen.
Or did I rub the wrong area?
Maybe Ned Yost has different signs.
I mean, there's so much nonverbal communication that goes on in a baseball field, from the manager to the third base coach to the first base coach to the runners to the catcher.
And Matt Wieters gets yet another on the base paths. He now has 8, so he's tied for second with Jose Molina behind Jason Kendall, who just was thrown out by Matt Wieters. What an improvement on his follow-through and release. Very, very quick.
He really has quickened it up, and he's so accurate.
There's a bloop to left field. Patterson will play it on a hop. DeJesus goes the opposite way with a single.
Well, in Kevin Millwood's nightmares, he may see some of these bloopers along the way. We've seen a number in this series. Haven't seen a whole lot of blasts, but we've seen some bloopers and some swinging bunts and some bunts. And there really is the nature of the Kansas City attack. It's not a powerful attack. Again, they're third in the league in hitting 270 coming into the series. That's how they work their way around. Again, they're up in the league leaders in hitting, but not in the league leaders in scoring.
So Millwood now at 108. Fastball's high. Billy Butler hitless on the night. He is now the only Royal who does not have a base hit. The Royals have 9 base hits spread out over their other 8 hitters in the lineup. The lone multi-hit game belongs to Alberto Callaspo, who has 2 singles.
And it's kind of amazing when you think that they have 9 hits and they didn't have any to the 5th.
9 singles, including a drag bunt RBI hit by Podsednik. At first with Chase de Jesus. De Jesus has 2 steals on the year. He has been caught once. One is fouled off. 1-2 on Billy Butler. One down in the inning. You see the Orioles middle infielders, their double play depth, and Wigginton shading just a bit towards the middle. He would cover on a steal at them. Ball and 2 strikes on Butler with 1 down. And another fisted pop-up. Wigginton out this time, takes charge, and he drops the ball. He'll pick it up and fire to second base to get the Jesus. So Ty Wigginton fortunate that there was a runner on at first. So that will go as a fielder's choice. Dave Tremblay looking on. He just flat out dropped it.
He's calling it off from Nick Markakis and then just off the end of the glove. Certainly the presence of mind just to circle it and make a nice easy throw to second base. That sort of was his out clause, and if anything, it's a switch off of some speed between Butler and de Jesus.
So 2 down now. Butler now on at first. Obviously upset with his swing. And Reeder's out to talk with Millwood, which may be a stall for the bullpen to get a little bit looser. A couple of more pitches in.
Well, and historically, again, this has been Millwood's nemesis. Jose Guillen hit 2 balls on the button tonight. Had the first hit off of Millwood.
Well, 2 down now. Runner at first. Outside. 1-0. Millwood trying to keep this a 1-run game and get out of this inning, hoping the Orioles then could score in the bottom half of the inning. And this is outside, ball 2.
Yeah, pitch count really starting to mount on Millwood. It's number 113, 75 strikes along the way. Outstanding ball strike ratio, just 38 balls.
Ian 1 for 3 with that base hit Mike talked about. Foul off the mask of Matt Reeders. And 2-1 and a big full cut. Guillen has just 12 hits in his last 73 at bats. He really has cooled off.
Yeah, he started off red hot. He has still is stuck on 8 home runs, but he seemed like he had those in the first 3 weeks.
Millwood deals 2-1. Line down the right field line. That is a fair ball that heads towards the corner. Markakis runs it down. Butler's heading to third. Markakis fires back in, and Rodriguez will hold Billy Butler. So how about that? The drop pop-up by Wigginton that led to the force of De Jesus. If not for that, De Jesus would have scored on that double.
Yeah, for sure. De Jesus much better, much faster foot speed than Butler, so it works out. But again, the nemesis, it just seems like some guys, doesn't matter. You throw it up and in perfect spot. He inside outs it. We've seen him turn on a pitch early. So again, as it has it, he comes up right at the end and will probably be his last hitter.
Here comes Dave Tremblay out. He has not yet made the signal.
You're right. I think he's going to have a conversation first at Millwood at 1:15.
It's interesting, the bullpen gate door did open, but Tremblay has not yet signaled. Tim Cheetah, the crew chief, the second base umpire, is waiting, and he's going to leave him in, give him one more batter.
I think Millwood's earned the right.
Or the bullpen is busy. Alberto Castillo has joined Matt Albers. So runners at second and third, but 2 down in the inning. So Millwood looking to get Callaspo to end it. Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. The get me over curve.
Very effective. You know, most times if you get your curveball over 60% of the time, you're pretty good with it. Millwood's been at that pace all night long.
This is inside. 1-1 on Alberto Callaspo, who has 2 of the Kansas City hits. A couple of singles, that double by Guillen, the first extra base hit in this game off Millwood.
That's the most pitches that Millwood has thrown in the game this year. 115 in Oakland in a loss. 112 a couple of times against the Yankees and in no decision, and also a loss at Seattle. 8-inning job.
1-1 is outside, ball 2. 3-2 game, 2 on and 2 out. There have been 3 hits in this inning. And Kansas City has not yet been able to score. They're looking for insurance here late in the game.
It's always tough for a manager to judge when you're giving up bloopers and bleeders, as your stuff really eroded.
There's a bloop to left, but it hangs for Corey Patterson, who has it for the out. So Millwood works out of it. 3 hits, but 2 left, mid-8th, and a 3-2 Kansas City. Classy guy. As he walked off the field, he took a detour towards home plate and thanked Alfonso Marquez for a nice night tonight. And you saw the umpire say thank you, and went over to Wigginton, patted him on the back, saying, don't worry about it, shake it off, we got an out. Here's a leader right there, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, making his way around, talking with Matt Wieters, talking about the night they had, the night the home plate umpires had. Again, he's a little bit short on the scoreboard, but certainly a class act, and it really does tell the younger players how they should go about their business, that you don't have to be adversarial with the umpires. You know, you can get along, you can play this game under control, and he certainly has exhibited that once again tonight.
And you saw the numbers on Blake Wood, who comes on. So Greinke goes 7 innings and allows 2 runs. It's his game to win.
Wood pitched in last night's game, came on in the 8th inning. Give up a base hit to Wieters, but was able to coax an inning-ending double play out of Adam Jones.
Julio Lugo will lead off in the top of the lineup. Patterson and Ty Wigginton. And there will be a noticeable difference in the stuff coming towards home plate now that Greinke's out of there. Mike mentioned Kansas City's bullpen ERA. It's 4.76. Only the Angels have a higher bullpen ERA. The Angels are 5.25, which is kind of shocking. As Lugo hits it to right field, playable for DeJesus, and 1 away. So Wood gets the first out here in the 8th inning. Ned Yost certainly knows of these players. He was in the front office with Kansas City, was hired in January, so certainly knows them from spring training, even though he wasn't on the field. Now has a rookie in the game to work as the setup man in the 8th inning. Corey Patterson, did he get enough? Back right center field to Jesus on the run. That ball is out of here! Patterson hits it out and the game is tied. So the struggles of the bullpen for Kansas City continue, and it's a brand new game at 3-3.
Well, certainly both Warriors that started this now off the hook. You see the low middle fastball from Blake Wood and Corey Patterson. Pretty good low ball hitter. Really was no doubt about it.
Ty Wigginton now, and missing down and in is Wood. Now, Kevin Millwood is still the pitcher of record. If the Orioles could somehow get another run, he'd be 3 outs away from his first win. There's a broken bat bloop. Tough play. Out goes the shortstop. Betancourt, he can't get it. And Wigginton is on with a blue pitch. So the Orioles get one of those broken half bloops.
A little payback by Wigginton, who's been chasing those bloopers all over right field all night. And Betancourt just to try to track one down himself.
So after getting Lugo on a routine fly ball, the home run, now a blue pit. And that gets Markakis up. Go-ahead run is on with 1 down.
Maybe this is the way it's meant to be. Kevin Millwood is not supposed to see his wins.
And time is called as Cesar Izturis comes off the bench. He will pinch run for Ty Wigginton to get more speed out there, as that now represents the go-ahead run. For Wigginton, 1 out of 4 with that base hit extends his hitting streak to 9 straight games. And now Markakis. 1 hit, it was a double in the first inning. Going back to first, and Izturis is back. The way Jason Kendall has gunned down potential base stealers now, although with the game tied, it might change the strategy a little bit. If you're down by a run, you might want to be conservative, but Izturis does have a couple of steals on the year. He has 2 of the Orioles' 11. Markakis the other way, serves it, but Sednick in on it and has it for the out. With 2 men down here in the 8th inning. And that'll bring up Miguel Tejada now with 2 down. The Orioles with 11 stolen bases on the year. That is the fewest of any team in the American League. And, of course, with Brian Roberts not in there, a big reason why that number is that low. And ironically enough, Brian has one of those steals, and it was the play he was re-injured on in the home opener. Tejada now for the first. So what do you think, Mike? With 2 men down now, do you run?
It's really going to be up to certainly what Dave Tremblay feels like in this situation, but it's not a bad situation with 2 outs. If it is a success, you only need a single at that point. And certainly if it fails, then you're able to have Miggy leading off the inning. But again, it does increase your odds, but also Miggy's pretty good right field hitter. So a lot of things that going through the mind of Dave Tremblay in this situation.
To give you an idea of just how important Brian Roberts is to the stolen base possibilities on this team, he was injured in the first inning of the 4th game of the year, and he is still tied for the team lead in steals with 2. And he hasn't played since April the 9th. Izturis is running, pitch is taken for the second base. The tag, he is out at second base, and that'll end the inning. So Izturis trying to get into scoring position is gunned down by Kendall, who's having a heck of a year leading the American League and throwing to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. Well, Julio Lugo moves from shortstop to second base as Ty Wigginton was lifted for the pinch runner Cesar Izturis, who is now in the game at shortstop. Kevin Millwood's night is done, and here's Will Ullman on the work in the ninth inning.
Yeah, he's been really the workhorse out of the bullpen, making his 21st appearance on the year. That is, I believe, leading the league in appearances. 13 innings, 9 hits. Walks a little on the high side, but 12 strikeouts along the way is pretty good work. No earned runs as yet allowed by Will.
So Will Ullman deals, and let's take a look at the Izturis caught stealing to end the inning. A bang-bang play at second base. Tim Cheetah said he was out. And the foot is on the base, then the tag comes in. So it looks like Izturis actually had that base stolen. Bang-bang play, and Izturis did not get the call. The Royals did. One-on-one on Mitch Meyer. He takes ball 2. Well, Ullman has had a very good start to his year. As Mike mentioned, this is his 21st appearance. Too high, ball 3. Randy Choate of Tampa Bay also appeared in his 21st game today, as this one went high and tight. So Choate and Ullman remain tied now for most appearances in the American League. That's a strike in there, 3-2. I'm not sure what Meyer was looking for there. There was a breaking ball for a strike down and away. Then he comes high and tight at his chin. Then he throws him right down the middle.
Yeah, I think I'll just take and start over.
Soria, the closer, if the Royals get a lead. Farnsworth, if it stays as is. And there's a strike 3 call. So Ullman comes back from 3-1 down in the count to get the strikeout, 1 away.
Yeah, pretty good comeback. Look at this pitch. Okay, caught that inside corner.
And here comes Dave Tremblay out. Ullman faces one batter, Mitch Meyer. And that'll be it for Mr. Ullman. So Alfredo Simon will come on with Iniesky Betancourt, right-handed batter, coming up in a tie game. The one batter, Mitch Meyer, and he did on a called strikeout. And now Alfredo Simon is brought on.
He's on to work in his 10th game. 8 1/3 innings along the way. 10 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 walks and 9 Ks. Exhibited a pretty good fastball, anywhere from 95 to 97. The pretty good forkball. Been a little inconsistent with it.
And this will be his first appearance since suffering the loss in the blown save on Saturday night when he allowed 4 runs in just a third of an inning. First ball swinging is Betancourt. He pops it up foul near the Kansas City dugout. Tejada's there. And Miguel squeezes it for the out. And Will Ullman gives him the sign. A high five. You're in the spotlight.
And Miggy tracking, take a quick look and see where that guard over the dugout is.
There's the spotlight. If Miguel would only have fun.
Smile a little more often.
Chris Getz, the number 9 batter, takes a fastball high. Getz is 1 out of 3 on the night with an RBI. Fouls it back late on the swing. Alfredo Simon back-to-back fastballs and powerful ones at that. One low, down and in. This, as we watch Alfredo Simon, we do have to remember that he's still learning how to pitch in this role. He's a starting pitcher, and starting pitchers need to use all of their pitches to set up in certain spots, and it's one of the things about Simone. It seems as if he feels the need to use all those pitchers. I know Rick Kranitz had a talk with him about pitch selection in certain spots, and it seems like he's a different guy out there tonight. He's going right after him. Another fastball. This one bounced foul.
Yeah, I'm sure he's saying your strength is throwing strikes. Good things happen when you pitch in favorable counts. Sometimes you want to trick hitters. Use that splitter and catch them off guard. Many times, just as we saw earlier with Greinke, and we see the good pitchers do, just go right at the hitters with your best stuff.
1-2, high fly ball to left. Corey Patterson waits on it, and he has it for the out. And Kansas City goes 3 up, 3 down. Tejada, Wieters, and Scott coming up. Birds can win it with a run. Has gone 67 consecutive at-bats without a home run. This would be a good spot to break that streak. And if Miguel can't get on, then it's up to Wieters, another home run threat. And then there's Tom and Rick Alutu, Luke Scott against Kyle Farnsworth, who comes on in this tie game.
Yeah, power arm out of the bullpen, 15th appearance for Farnsworth. He came on last night in the 7th inning. Kind of got through it. Didn't pitch real well. Fastball anywhere from 95 to 100 miles an hour when he's right. Late breaking slider.
And that inning last night, it was a hit batter that got him in trouble. And Corey Patterson eventually did score. So here's Tejada, who has hit 3 fly balls. Orioles can win it with a run. They have come back from 3-0 down in the 5th inning. Ground ball toward shortstop. Betancourt backs up and guns it across. One down in the Oriole ninth inning. Here's an update on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game, and Luke Scott with his 2 home runs running away with it. Still time to vote A, B, or C to 51862, and Tom and Rick will have the results coming up. Otto's Extra Post Game.
His fans like the long ball.
And Luke is hovering on deck. Kansas City does have 2 left-handers in the bullpen. One is Dusty Hughes, and the other is former Oriole Bruce Chen. Wieters fouls it off. But neither is getting loose, so it's a moot point. Wieters is hitless on the night. Over but low and a good eye, 1-1. Matt has grounded out twice and struck out. Good cut there, and he fouls it back in the net. 1-2.
He's been quiet on the homestand, but he certainly has done a nice job catching and defensively throwing. Really has started to discourage the opposition from running, even teams that do run, with that quick release.
Jeff Gotts, the bench coach, been working with him as well. Former catcher. 1-2 is in the dirt. Wieters has gone 10 games without an RBI. He has 13 on the year. The Orioles do, in fact, get the long ball as Farnsworth deals. Low ball 3. When's the last time you saw a game in which a team trailed and then not only came back but won, and all the runs came in on solo homers? That would be the case. Bench manager looking on with different agendas here. Wieters, meantime, with a good at-bat, has worked the count full.
It really has been a tale of two half-ball games.
Swept towards second base, gets charges, plays the hop. Wieters out and 2 down. So Luke Scott comes up, Mike, and he's had a very productive night.
After a long time on the bench, Greinke starting off the 5th inning. Luke Scott leading off the 5th inning. First one was a moonshot. The second one in the 7th inning with 2 men out. Just a scorcher up onto the flagboard.
And on that first home run, you saw Greinke motioning with his glove. What he was doing there was David DeJesus lost sight of it and thought it was playable, and Greinke was telling him, you better move back.
Yeah, he's telling me it's up by boobs if you want to find it.
Get up there, get a sandwich. So here's Luke. Bases empty and 2 down. And bounce foul with a good cut. Luke now with 9 home runs on the year with his 2 solos. There's also walks, so he's been on base each of his 3 plate appearances tonight. Outside.
You could tell Luke was locked in. We talk a lot about takes. Well, Terry Crowley talks about, too, having a good take. You go back to his first at bat and the walk. He laid off a couple nasty breaking balls down under his hands to get that walk, and you could tell then he was zeroed in.
And another good take, ball 2, as Farnsworth staying away from him. Fans cheering on Luke Scott. 2-1 the count. Ball 3. Here's another one of those takes. Close pitch. Maybe if you're Farnsworth, you don't mind going after Adam Jones. The way Lucas put on a display tonight. Adam waits on deck. Swings through it, 3-2. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, none on, and a full count on Luke Scott.
Well, we'll see on this pitch how much commitment certainly Farnsworth has to pitching to him right here.
The 3-2 is inside, ball 4.
I'm not sure how you lay off that pitch, and you go back and see how hot Luke Scott is by, again, the nature of his takes. Great swing and a fastball in the middle of the plate. You see him just make up his mind early whether it's going to be a strike or to pull the trigger or not. 3-1 pitch has the helicopter swing, and he's just able to lay off and not even flinch on the 3-1 pitch.
And I think the other aspect of what we just saw there is what a good team at-bat that was. He didn't get over-anxious in a spot on a night he already has 2 home runs, and he took the walk. So here's Adam Jones now. He singled his last at-bat, 1 for 3.
And you would think in this game, really, the advantage does shift to the Orioles with the way the Royals bullpen has had all their problems.
Adam had 5 RBIs in April. He has 4 in May. Winning run is on at first, but 2 men down. Inside, a ball and a strike. Farnsworth still throws hard. Maybe not as hard as he did as a younger pitcher when he was with the Cubs, but that was 94, that pitch. Scott chased back.
He used to throw like Zumaya. Now he's throwing like Greinke. I mean, Greinke's he's cranking it out there at the 94 all night long, and Farnsworth is in that zone now. So his fastball has eroded some, but still above average.
He's been in the big league since '99. The 1-1 to Jones swings late. 1-2.
A little bit of fastball there, 96.
The 1-2 the count on Adam Jones with Scott on at first and 2 down in the bottom of the ninth. And another throw. Luke does not have a stolen base on the year. Anxious moments here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Jones stepped out. Farnsworth stepped off the rubber. There's the 1-2. It's low, ball 2. With a single in his last at-bat, Jones has hit 5 in a row. Down on strike. So Farnsworth gets him, and we are going extras at Camden Yards. A walk a man left through 9, a 3-3 game. Final two batters in the ninth, and he'll go to work in the top of the order as the Orioles and the Royals tied at 3. Millwood went 8 innings, 3 runs on 10 hits, all 3 in the 5th inning on 5 singles, but he did not allow another run. Oman faced one batter in the ninth, struck him out. Simone got the other 2 outs. Here's Potsebnik, who is the leadoff hitter in the lineup, and he takes low.
It's almost a tale of 2 different ball games. You go back the first 4 innings, nothing on the board really for either side, and since the 4th, 6 runs and 16 hits.
Bouncer Lugo backs up to play the hop. Potsebnik is out, 1 out in the Kansas City 10th inning.
That's a big out starting off the inning.
The Royals have played in 4 extra inning games. They are 3-1. The Orioles have played in 5, but the Orioles are just 1-4 in their extra inning games.
You know who's having a tough time in extra innings is the Red Sox. They're 1-6. Pretty good slider from Simone. And Kendall spent most of the series hitting fly balls to right field.
My apologies, I looked at the wrong line. They're 3-1, the Orioles, in those extra inning games.
Got 2 clubs there.
The 1-4 is the 2-run decision.
There you go.
Bullington and Joaquin Soria. Bullington if it stays tied. Soria if the Royals get the lead to try to earn the save. One and 2 on Kendall with 1 out, nobody on, and without a doubt, Simone has a different approach here tonight. Really going right after him with
fast strikes and getting ahead. Doesn't matter who's hitting.
Ground ball towards the middle, and that squirts on through for a base hit. A defensive swing, but it found the hole. Go ahead, runners on with 1 down.
We can see why Kendall's among the league leaders every year. Most difficult to strike out, chokes up, and just really tries to put the bat head to it. Well placed up the middle. After starting the series hitless, hope for his first 7. Base hits his last 2 at bats.
And David DeJesus now 1 out of 4 on the night. He singled his last at bat. Both these teams are going with a 3-man bench, so there's not a lot of moves that the managers have at their disposal in terms of hitters. Dave Tremblay's already used one of his moves when he had Cesar Estura's pinch run for Ty Wigginton. So Wigginton's bat no longer in there. Fastball outside, ball 2 on DeJesus.
Yeah, many of these clubs are really not built to play extra innings. There's certainly not many extra innings. Pitching wise with specialty bullpens, really only have one long man if the game is going to go deep. I know Davey Johnson, when he was managing here, would say, let's get this thing over in 9 innings, and for sure by 10. Let's attack.
Line to left, hangs for Patterson, and Corey has it for the 2nd out of the 10th inning. And DeJesus 1 out of 5. Back to first base is Kendall. And it brings up Billy Butler. Butler is the only Royal without a base hit. He's 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts.
And Millwood really had him talking to himself in the assortment of cutters and breaking balls.
Fastball misses inside. Without a doubt, Alfredo Simone's command exceptional here tonight. The swing by Kendall for the base hit was a defensive swing. It just happened to find a hole on that ground ball. Outside ball 2. Simone, the 3rd Oriole pitcher. Kansas City has also used 3. And again missing inside. So 3-0, and one more ball puts the go-ahead run in scoring position with a very clutch RBI hitter on deck, Jose Guillen. Tremblay looking on here, hoping this game gets to the bottom of the 10th tied. Simone has fallen behind Butler 3-0. And there's ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk forces Kendall to second base. Kansas City has 2 on with 2 out. Nobody getting loose behind Simone. Kranitz beginning to pace a little bit. And here is Jose Guillen. Had a good night. Singled and scored, doubled. 2 for 4 overall. And you see there 25 RBIs on the year. And there's strike 1.
The last couple fastballs, Simone was pulling off. That one, he drove through the strike zone.
Kendall the lead runner, Butler the trail runner. The only advantage the Orioles have here is you have the catcher as the lead runner, and then Butler, the trail runner, neither with great speed.
I think Kendall's faster than Butler.
Well, he's the lead runner, so for Kansas City, they're in the right order. Ball and a strike on Jose Guillen. Overthrew that one, 2-1.
Reaching back.
There are some closers that we've seen over the years, but I'm not sure Alfredo Simon has been in this role long enough for him to fall into this. But when they have to go back out for that second inning, something changes. Good hack, but he fouled the bag. I'm not sure that he still has this concept down now of coming in and pitching in the back end of games. Still learning, having been a starter his entire career.
Yeah, I'm sure he's still learning the proper assortment. I mean, tonight we see, to me, an over adjustment. Now it's all fastballs. You know, before it was unpredictable. He may throw a 2-0 splitter. And tonight I haven't seen much other than that fastball.
2-2 on Guillen, 2 on. And another foul ball. Straight back on the screen.
It seemed like a little bit of an over adjustment. You'd almost think now if he could drop that splitter down in the zone.
Of course, that was the pitch that was hit for the home run in his last outing in a blown save on an 0-2 pitch, and he hung it. So maybe the confidence is a little lacking.
Because that happens to you once doesn't mean you're not going to throw it the rest of your career, though. You have to get back on the horse sometimes.
There you go. 2-2 on Guillen. High fly ball, foul. The hot is over, but he'll run out of room. It's back in the stands.
That's the proper mixture. It wasn't that the forkball was the wrong pitch, it was the wrong location.
Right. Telling that fan, okay.
Got any room?
Okay.
Pretty good.
How you doing? Two on, first and second, 2 down. A 2-2 pitch to Guillen, and another foul ball. So Guillen continues to protect. He's getting some pretty good hacks.
And that was the splitter. About 7 or 8 miles an hour. Slower than his fastball.
There's Kendall, the go-ahead run at second. Butler at first, not being held. 2 men down. Alfredo Simon trying to get this inning over and get the Orioles up in a tie game in the bottom of the 10th. Popped up, back of the plate. Wieters will not have a play.
Great battle between Guillen and Simon.
Jose Guillen is in his 3rd season with the Royals. And mostly DHs now because of the injury problems he's had the last few years. Two and two, the count remains. And he got bottom. Simone comes back to get Guillen. So a single, a walk, but 2 men left as Jose Guillen strikes out to end it. Bottom. So Billy Butler comes back to strike out Jose Guillen, a very long at bat. And here comes Brian Bullington, who is making his appearance for Kansas City the first time since coming up from the minor leagues. He was pitching for the Omaha Royals in AAA, 2-0 in 7 appearances, 5 starts, and here he is working in relief.
Okay, you get pretty good numbers, 31 strikeouts in 42 innings. They ranked 4th in the Pacific Coast League. Signed a minor league deal with the Royals November of last year. That, again, Jim mentioned it earlier, was the first overall pick by the Pirates in the 2002 draft. Made a total of 13 major league appearances, 5 starts along the way for the Pirates. Now he's out of the bullpen.
Garrett Atkins, Julio Lugo, and Corey Patterson for the Birds here in the 10th in this 3-3 game. And it's low, 1-0. Atkins has had a 0-for-3 night at the plate. 3 out of 20 on the homestand now. Swings through it. A ball and a strike on Atkins. Bounce towards shortstop, charging his Betancourt. And he gets the hustling Atkins for the first out here in the 10th. Here's Julio Lugo now, who is also hitless on the night. Began the night at shortstop. Now he's at second base. There's the bullpen averages in the American League. Only the Angels have a higher bullpen ERA than Kansas City, and the Orioles 2 spots behind Kansas City. And a base hit to left field for Julio Lugo. Winning run is on with 1 down. Well, Lugo snaps his 0-for-11 on the homestand with a base hit. Corey Patterson coming up. Here's what he did in the 8th inning to get this game tied.
Yeah, with 1 man out in the 8th inning, Patterson wasting no time. Low fastball, middle of the plate. And all Blake Wood could do was drop his head as this one became tied.
His only hit on the night, and it was a big one to tie the game in the 8th inning. And it's in there for a strike. Callaspo, ever since Corey's bunt in the first inning last night has been playing on the grass at third base every time he's come up. And that's despite the fact that Corey's bunt was a drag bunt. Went the other way.
Well, he's encouraging Corey to bunt to the other side. Don't bunt to me. But that's what speed does. It makes you, if you look at the infielders, they're playing in a couple of feet. That's short and second.
Good take outside. 1-1. You see Callaspo in between pitches. He keeps putting his hand inside his uniform shirt to keep the throwing hand warm. It's a very damp night, and there is a breeze, which is making the temperature feel even colder as Lugo is chased back. And Callaspo trying to keep that throwing hand warm. One and one on Patterson. Too tight ball, too. Because of the pinch running in the 8th inning, it is Cesar Estouris who is on deck, not Ty Wigginton. Of course, you play to get that go-ahead run in the bottom of the 8th. It was only one out of the inning when he came on, so you do what you can to try to get that run to prevent it.
There's not many things that certainly the modern manager can do with a very limited bench. You really only have maybe, like you said, one move, and sometimes one move could cost you a couple of players, and then if it doesn't work out, you're sort of trapped for the rest of the game into that lineup.
Well, Corey Patterson works the walk, so the Orioles now have 2 on, and more importantly, that winning run is in scoring position with 1 down. And here comes Bob McClure, the pitching coach, out for a chat with Brian Bullington.
I'm sure this will be encouragement to stay in the strike zone, give your defense a chance. Sure, on the part of Bullington, there's some nerves involved. Your first appearance for the Royals is an extra inning tie ball game.
He's had labrum surgery along the way, which has hindered his development. I guess if you're a pitcher, especially with the modern medicine, if you need surgery, you'd rather it be the elbow than the shoulder. It seems the elbow guys seem to come back a little bit more quicker and more effective.
Well, I think the elbow has proven to be a much easier joint to work on, but as long as it's your elbow, not mine.
We'll get a pitching tomorrow.
It's great if it's somebody else's elbow.
Well, my elbow's fine, by the way.
That's good.
A 3-3 game. Here's Cesar Estouris' first at bat. Ground ball towards the hole. Butler knocks it down, picks it up. The race is on, and safe at first base. The foot was off the bag, says Tim Timmons. And the bases are loaded in the bottom of the 10th.
See here, Bullington does a pretty good job of getting over the first base, but the ball went. It's just a very lazy throw to first base. I'm not sure if Butler's going to get him with that kind of throw to begin with.
So the question was the foot on while he had the ball? Tim Timmons said no.
And you can see it kick up. Looked like it was right against it, but certainly don't get the call.
So the bases are loaded for Markakis. And it's inside, 1-0. Nowhere to put Nick. He's got to come at him.
And you see the outfield play about as shallow as it can. It has to play as shallow as being able to throw a runner out. So they're only playing at maybe 180 feet from home plate.
High fly ball, center field. Back it goes. It is in there for a base hit. And the Orioles will win. Julio Lugo comes in as Nick Markakis delivers in the 10th inning, and the Orioles have a come-from-behind win to close out the homestand. Markakis gets the RBI, and the Orioles win. Big win for the Orioles. We invite you to join us tomorrow. Morals action as the Birds head on the road, open up a 2-game series against the Rangers with Jeremy Guthrie on the mound against Rich Hardman. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 7:30 with those extra, presented by your local Ford dealer, followed by game coverage at 8 o'clock on MASN 2 HD. And now for Mike Flanagan, Jim Hunter saying so long. Orioles win at 4-3-10. Tonight's telecast, a MASN presentation. Now O's Extra, a lot of happy recap. Tom Davis and Rick Dempsey.